Internet, how is it going? And welcome back to the High Performing Man podcast. And today I'm with a special guest, and it's actually the first one of the new series of the podcast. This now is going towards real wealth, all pillars, as you can see on the screen. So I'm really excited to introduce you to my boy and my brother, Tanner.
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me.
So me and Tanner have actually just been for a gym session, haven't we?
Yeah.
And I weren't going to start on this, but I think it's really, really important. Obviously, now we're sat here with a mask on of businessman, money. We're going to go through how life was, and we're going to really speak about different identities, what we've been through in our life. But for me personally, how energized I've just come out of the gym session, but not from the things we spoke about from business, but one of my biggest messages now to successful men is just the importance of being a brother, a man, just being boys in the gym. You know, it's so one thing on my journey is the loneliness was what ate me alive. The feeling alone of when you have a certain brain, when you want certain things from life. And just even this morning, for me, you know, you spend weeks and months alone in your own head when you're on your mission, when you're trying to fulfill your purpose in this life. But like this morning for me, it's just like a breath of fresh air. Just two men lifting weights, just being brothers, just speaking about normal stuff, what normal men do. Did you get that same vibe?
I get stimulated when like I have intellectual conversations. So for me, yeah, I mean the gym's good, but it's just finding like like-minded people end of the day, right? It's like people go in the same direction. They're trying to like be the best they can be. So that's really where I get a lot of stimulation. If I find people and they're not really going that direction, it's a little hard for me to have a conversation with them.
It's just an energy exchange, isn't it, brother? Like, if you really want to find your people and really want to align, the opposite to resistance is assistance. So you'll feel resistance when somebody doesn't align with you because you know there's a resistance there. And that's okay. One thing I've definitely learned on this journey is not everybody's going to be your person. No. But when you find, we spoke about that a lot, but when we find them, you will get assistance from the universe. There's just no resistance there. There's just no friction. It's just flowy. And a lot of our conversations this morning were just around gym splits, normal lad stuff, our past as younger men, where we're going. And for me personally, you can give your own point of view. Like, it's just really refreshing, you know?
Yeah, it's refreshing because I just think most people don't really want to be their best. I don't know, maybe they do, but it just feels to me like a lot of people, they just kind of settle. Or I've even had friends where they used to do that. That's what it felt like. And then as they get older, they kind of stop. Like they hit a certain like amount of money or threshold of success and they're done. For me, I've done that and I was not very fulfilled. I took a sabbatical. I can't remember how many years ago, 3 years ago. I took a 6-month sabbatical. Like I didn't work at all. And I just like left my company and I was like, hey, you guys run it. And it was fine. But I remember when I went back, I actually didn't realize how miserable I was. It was almost like if you'd eaten McDonald's for 6 months and then you had a salad, you're like, whoa, like you didn't realize how bad you felt. I didn't feel very good doing that because it just felt very hedonistic. Like every day it was just, okay, like what can I do for me? Like what do I want to do today? How do I do this? How do I do that? Like, etc. And it kind of sent me down a dark path for a bit. So yeah, when I just want to be around people who want to be the best they can be because that's like what energizes me and it kind of pushes me and puts me in a good mood. And I've really, as I've gotten older, I really protect my energy in the sense of, like, they're not bad people. It's just, I think the brain is really impressive and it's very malleable, but the downside is it's malleable both ways. So if you give it bad influences, like, you know, they say you're the average of 5 people. I've done that. And slowly over time, you start doing and saying those things that those people do. And it goes the opposite direction as well. Right. So I think it's really important, like you find people who are going down the same path as you.
Yeah, for sure, brother. Even like this morning, when you messaged me last night, you were like, right, gym 7 a.m. You just something internally, you're like, yes, this motherfucker's my kind of guy. And then when I was in the gym this morning, you're lifting more down me. I was like, oh, I'm such a pussy. But if I'm in rooms of men who are not better than me on financially, fitness, mindset, spirituality, if I am the strongest man in that room, I am not in the right room. And the ego years ago, the little boy in me, the damaged little boy would have had to be like, I used to show Instagram how fit I was. I'm the best. I'm the fittest. Look how fit I am. But I was just looking like this morning thinking, motherfucker's even stronger than me. I can't wait to be stronger than him, you know?
I'm the same. I have some pretty impressive friends. and like, you know, like they'll be lifting more than me and stuff. I'm the same way, but it's good because you want to be pushed, and being around
100%.
people like that help push you.
Because what people don't understand is staying at the same place is regression. You should not want to be the same person as you were 6 months ago. And to require change, you're going to have to go into that resistance, that force against you. And like I said, it is lonely sometimes, but even like last night when you sent me a message and it's like 7 a.m. gym, getting it done, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. Like, I was like kid at Christmas, get up, get it done, get training, human connection. I knew the level of conversation we'd have. And that's when that is like when you know you're in the right room with people, or when you are mixing with people on your level. Because like you said, it's nothing against other people who are, don't want to call them a lower level, but just aren't at the level you are. It can drag you back, and what you're doing there is you're diminishing your own power as a man if you allow that to happen. So it's about not being a yes man. First of all, you know, there is too many nice people on this, too many nice men.
Being straight with people, I think, is the best way.
That's what I also loved about you as well. Straight away, brother.
Straight,
straight away. It's like, this is what it is.
People, the funny thing is, I remember when I was younger, and I was pretty young, but I remember I was trying to be liked, and so I was acting a certain way. And then I remember people still made fun of me. This is when I was like 8, 9, 10, something like that. Or it may be closer to 12. Either way. And I remember going, okay, well, if they don't like me this way, I was like, well, then it's going to be impossible. Because I felt like I was doing everything right on paper. So I really think it's just important, be who you're going to be, because people are not going to like you. People will like you or not like you either way. I just like being more straight with people, because I think there's a lot of people who, I don't know, they're just kind of fluffy, or they don't tell you how it is. And I've never really respected that. Even when I started business, like if I had like a coach or something, they're like, yeah, dude, you're doing great. And I'm like, bro, I'm not making any money. Like, so I'm not doing great, you know, like what's the problem? Like, so I just try to be straight with people, because I feel they actually know where they stand with you or what you're thinking. And I think that's always better than guessing or like wondering, right?
I think that's so powerful in the space we're both in now as well, because I can vouch for the amount of money I've paid coaches and they've been too fucking nice. Honestly, it is. And men need leaders more than ever in a world of soft men. Not talking like violent drugs. I'm talking about men who don't know their own internal power. Men who don't know how to hold boundaries for themselves, to live life on their own terms. I've spent on coaching over the past 3 years, like you said, sabbatical. I've went traveling for the past 3 years. I reckon I've spent well over 100 grand on coaching, and half of them is like, why are you not directly telling me? I need directly telling. Because when somebody with power, you do need sometimes telling. You need that ego to be hurt. You need to be told, this isn't good enough. This is what you need to do. Go and execute it. And that's what I loved before. You were like, listen, there's actually people have turned away because they're actually just not ready. They're just not there yet. And that takes a lot to turn down, obviously, big sums of money. But like you said, it'll drag your energy away. And you've got enough skin in the game now to know that just some men just aren't ready.
Change. I mean, everything. I think everything in life, what I've gotten to, it all takes discipline or restraint of some kind. And I think most people, they're just not willing to do that. And for me, I get a lot of fulfillment from growth. And the hard part to accept is that to grow, you have to do hard things or things that challenge you. But a lot of people don't want to do that. So, but I think it's better to go that direction than the other direction, which is basically you just kind of live the same day every day for the rest of your life.
Let's not think it is better, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's just 100%
like there's
better.
just and you know, I mean, it can be painful at times, right? Depending on what subject. Like it can be painful, or you're unsure or whatever. But I'm a very growth-minded person. Like I just want to grow as much as I can. I want to be the best I can be. There's no, you know, you can make the argument like there's no reason or purpose, whatever. But I'm like, okay, if there's no reason or purpose, then
may as well do it anyway.
Yeah, like what? Why would you want to do any? I'm just like, why would you want to do anything less? Like people who just kind of go through life and skate by, it just is really unattractive to me, to be honest.
I completely agree. But this is what people don't get as well. Your purpose is you. The man in the mirror is your purpose.
Right.
So you need to be going to bed a different man than the man you woke up, because people think purpose is you wake up on the end of your bed, some spiritual bang happens, you're told you need to feed donkeys in Egypt for the rest of your life and earn no money, and you found your purpose, life is amazing. People have purpose so fucking wrong, it's unbelievable. Purpose as a man is the man in the mirror, knowing that when you go to bed you are a better man than the man you woke up, because the human physiology is there for growth. It's in our human nature to grow, to hunt back in the days. as men, we need to be getting better. We need to be going to bed progressively, becoming our highest self. So the ones who claim obviously mental health, and obviously not saying that's not an issue, but the ones who are stuck, who are going around on a hamster wheel, it's because they are refusing to do the hard things, what requires you to grow. And it's the paradox of self-mastery, growth, whatever you want to say. Yeah. It's fucking hard, but you will become the man you need to become.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's not nice. The feeling isn't good, but the reward is there.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, depending where you want to take the conversation, but yeah, I had something that I was.
We can go anywhere, bro.
Well, yeah. So I had something I was struggling with for about, I want to say like 5 years. Like I was pretty indecisive, like how to handle it. And eventually, I think I got there 6 months ago.
What was it?
It was really like how to live my life with women, to be honest. So, I would say I didn't really date hardly at all, which I know people might think that sounds weird, but pretty much till I was about 27, I only had a couple girlfriends, didn't date a bunch. And the reason was I wanted to play in the NFL, right? So American football, NFL. And then at 22, I had too many injuries. I don't think I was good enough. I got to the Division I level, which was right under the NFL, but I still wasn't good enough. I got hurt. And then I tried to start building my business, and then I didn't really start making serious money until around 27. So that was okay, now I'm in a position where I can actually date, and a girl will be attracted to me. And I think the hard thing as a man, at least my opinion, is that society kind of looks at you as you're this peon, you're not very important, and you kind of have to build your worth, right? So you have to be successful and make money and be in shape, and then you'll get respect, right? But you don't really get respect before that. So I think what was tough for me is it felt like the world was saying, hey, you're a nobody, and now you're a somebody, but you got to grow up now, and you got to settle down and get a wife and whatever. And that's probably just me putting those expectations on myself. But I was thinking fuck that. I want to enjoy my life. I want to get all the girls and do all the places. And so I think I was struggling for a few years on how to go, if I was going to go that direction or not. And I think I was just back and forth for years, back and forth where and I guess what I'm trying to get at is I was in a place where I want to be honest, and I want to do the right thing, etc. But I didn't feel like I could be with one girl for the rest of my life. I genuinely didn't feel that. And then you see you see all the horror stories cheating and infidelity, divorces, and I'm well, I don't want that, but I also don't want to be a liar, right? So I was trying to kind of figure this path out where I could be with a girl, but I can do this alternative lifestyle and and it would just torment me for years because I just it's a struggle, right? Because you meet a great girl, but the girls are not down for that usually if they're a great girl, and so then you swing back the other way, and then you're this isn't really fulfilling. So I was just going back and forth for years, and I think I figured that out. I think I really found peace with it 6 months ago. And if I look back, dude, it was 5 years just going through hell. But during those years, I just paid I paid 1 million people. I did all the psychedelics. I read all the books. I did all the I probably spent at least $500,000, if not more.
Wow.
And so that was a little off topic, I guess. But I guess
no,
I was
bro,
trying to.
I love it. Yeah, this was going to come up anyway.
Yeah. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is I was just trying to agree with your point is that I could have avoided all that. And maybe you can make the argument my life would have been easier, but I'm actually glad now that I went through that because I'm super clear now, and I feel like I can actually move my life forward, and I feel sure. And I think where you get peace from is you feel that the things you're doing are the right things, but you're also I think it's really tough as a man or anyone to do something that it's the right thing to do, but you don't really want to do it. And that's kind of where I was. Is I think I should be with one girl, but I really don't fucking want to. And I was really struggling with that internally because I'm not a sheep, so I couldn't just do it because people say to, but I also, I didn't feel good inside. And so I finally got to a place where I actually want to be with just one girl. And I didn't think that was possible for years. I thought
powerful.
Yeah. So anyways,
we'll come to that, bro, because
sure.
If I was to resonate with that right now, we're getting it all out now with two brothers sat here. Yeah. If I was to resonate with that now, with the woman situation and really trying to articulate what's right for me, I had a situation last year where completely broke my heart, was not ready for it, was not prepared for it, didn't think that it was going to have the effect on me it did, was completely blindsided by it. And you could argue the situation was kind of my fault too, but that's okay. That's something I've had to deal with as a man. But looking back now, I thank her for that opportunity to grow, because the pain I was in, this is where the growth's come from. Because, brother, I was dead for so long internally as a man from what I went through as a child and past relationships. I was so dead internally on like a feeling and heart level. Looking back now, I actually thank her for what she's opened up in me as a man, because I didn't think this was possible. I didn't think these feelings were possible. I didn't think what I now want with a woman was possible, because I now know the importance of a powerful woman by my side.
See what you didn't want, right? Yeah, I think.
But she's now made room for what is to come. I now see the space she's created for me to find that again, which I didn't think was going to be possible.
Yeah, it's always hindsight, and that's the tough part, because I think when you're going through it, you can't.
It's the worst. Yeah,
you can't see it. You can't see it, and so. But I think the cool place too is So I was in, like, while I was going through that, I was in like on and off 7-year relationship, and obviously that was part of it, because that was obviously a huge thing of contention. And I told you this at the gym, like, you know, I'm in a new relationship now, and something I was really struggling with was I think I had massive guilt. Like, when I got to my answer, I was like, man, like, I really put her through like all these things, and like, oh my gosh, I feel super bad, and but I got to this place, right? So it's like that possibly was what I needed to kind of get to this place. But then the other cool part was, like, I've talked to Dr. John DeMartini. We were talking off camera about him. He's like an NLP coach, and he in short, like, summarize, he was like, he basically just said, like, bro, like, there's nothing bad that can happen from this. Like, yeah, like, you're going through a tough time, whatever, you feel guilty, but like, ultimately it's like you got to a better place, you're more aligned with your life, you feel better, you think you're gonna be a better dude. And then, I don't know if I believe this or not, but he was like, look, if that, like, you're worried about making the wrong choice about like moving forward or going back or being single, whatever, and he's like, whatever is the right path, he's like, if you just keep doing the right thing, he's like, it's going to work itself out anyways, which sometimes I think is hard to believe, but I definitely am more grateful for the place I'm in now, because if I had stayed in that place and I hadn't progressed where I'm at now, I don't think I'd be as good of a dude. Like, I think this is the first time in my life where I feel in fitness, business, and relationships, like, I'm actually aligned with where I should be. I think for like the last 5 years, it was just fitness and business, and I really was struggling with girls. And now I actually feel like I'm actually where I need to be. And I don't know. I don't even think the goal of life is to be happy. I was thinking about this yesterday. I don't even think it's to be happy. I think it's to find peace. And so peace doesn't mean that like your life is like you have bad days, good days, some hard days. I think peace just comes from where you're doing, like, you're every day you're doing the things you know you should do, but it's like it actually feels right. Like, it's like you you're making the right decisions.
It's a feeling. Yeah. It's a feeling. Like, we can't be happy, bro, because if one of our parents died, we're going to be miserable for 6 months. Like, it's without light, there's no darkness.
Yeah.
Like, as men, like, I think the spiritual world today believe that you can scream affirmations in a mirror and it's going to be okay. And this is one of the things I've learned on my journey and my spiritual journey is, brother, we can, if our house is on fire behind us, there's only so long we can look the other way and scream, please, fire go out, before we have to turn around and put the fire out. Happiness is a feeling what's created internally as a man. Because, like I said, if something really bad happened in our life, partner, parents, because it can happen, and you're not going to be happy for a year. So to put the expectation on, which we speak about in the gym, to always be happy is wrong. Yeah, we can't.
Yeah, I think
that's what a lot of society get caught up on as well.
I think the big, and I think basically to feel peaceful, the thing that I was struggling with in that context was like, I felt like the right thing to do is to be with one girl, but I just didn't want to. And so I was having this massive conflict. And obviously when you're doing that, you can't feel peaceful, because I'm like, well, I don't want to do it. I think I should do it, but I'm not going to do something just because I think I should. Like, I need to feel it. And so, like, getting to that point took me, years and years and years. And now that I'm actually gotten there, I actually feel like I'm peaceful. Like, I feel like all the decisions I'm making right now are the right decisions. And that, I think, really should be the goal versus, happiness or whatever. Like, it's like being the best you can be if you genuinely feel like you're doing the right things. that to me is the point. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's how I
no,
feel.
bro, 100%. How you
Yeah.
just articulated it is exactly right, and I can see obviously the bit of confusion, but that's normal as a man. Like even when you've just said to me there about your struggles with women, it triggered something in me, and I was like, oh shit, okay, so I'm not the only guy to go through it.
I think when that was also frustrating for me is I think guys don't talk about it enough. So because for me, like it's very private and personal, right? So first off, like I was trying to talk to higher level guys. I'm like, hey, how does your dynamic with your wife or your girlfriend work? And obviously, like they're gonna probably want to keep some stuff private. So like I didn't know if I was ever getting the full story. Or then some guys were like, oh yeah, like like I can see other girls and all this other stuff. And then I meet the girl and I'm like, but like I don't like your girl is just not the type of girl I'd ever be with. So like it was, and then obviously the logical side of me is I go, oh, there's 8 billion people. There's got to be one girl out there. Like it was just kind of like this battle, and I couldn't really figure that out. It wasn't really till I met De Martini that he actually was able to break it down, and he literally in 60 minutes like broke the whole thing down. He's like, yeah, bro, like
Wow.
I can go into that if you want, but it was like
Yeah, do it. Let's go. But I think that confusion, just while it's on the top of my mind, is normal. Because like I said, to the position I'm in now, it's like I now know the need, especially with how highly you spoke of your relationship, the need for a powerful woman by a man's side. But I'm also in a stage where I'm like, okay, I've been hurt. Do I want that again? I want to build. So it's like constantly, I think it's what society put on you as well.
Yeah.
And I think obviously society's changing as we progress. So I think now more than ever, as men, we need to have life on what we want and what we believe is right for us instead of following the crowd.
Well, I think some of the guys out there kind of leading the like personal development space for men are like they're not the best role models.
That's why I take so much pride in like speaking like this. Like, you have to have walked the walk. There's too many self-development men like reading from books. And when my biggest flex is when people go like, where do you know this? It's like, well, starved myself in a forest in Bali for a week, like being there, done the work, got the wounds, got the scars.
Yeah, I think, well, like the way I view the space in general is that, like, I think most of the space is like, get a bunch of bitches, get a bunch of cars, make a ton of money. And like, there's validity to most of that. Like I'd say like you should get a ton of money and stuff, like you can help people, etc. But I just think overall, like that's kind of the vibe from the space. And I think as I fell into a lot of money and had a lot of success, like that's kind of what pushed me that way. Not saying it's someone else's fault, but like I was like, no, maybe that is the right way. I'm actually on the other side now where I feel like that isn't where you should go. But like that, so the conversation I had with Dave Martini was, I'm a really logical person. So I've talked to a lot of different people, and when they get emotional with me, I'm like, it's not that it's bad. It's hard for me to relate because I'm a very 2 + 2 = 4. I was a petroleum engineer. I played sports. I don't know. I just am very like analytical. So I'm like, it's got to add up. And he, in short, his whole conversation with me was, every relationship, there's a power dynamic, right? So there's usually like one person is more powerful than the other. And the problem with that, he said, and it made sense to me, is he said, the reason there's divorces and people cheat and all this stuff is the power dynamics out of balance. So he said, for example, if like a guy's in a relationship and he's here and the girl's down here, the girl will want him to commit because like she wants monogamy and she wants him to commit because like he's more powerful. So it's like, it's a great deal for her. But the guy might struggle because she kind of needs him and like he doesn't really feel like she's providing value in the way he wants. Now for me personally, I've always wanted, when I say value, I've always wanted a girl who kind of feels like my teammate, not like a cheerleader. Like I've always kind of wanted more like an Alex Layla dynamic than doesn't have to be full on like Alex and Layla, meaning like Layla's very involved, but like more like a teammate versus like a cheerleader, if that makes sense. And he basically said the reason, like he made me feel normal. And he basically said, the reason you're looking around for other girls is because for whatever reason, you feel the power dynamic is unequal. And so when it's unequal, that you look around because you're trying to fill that gap with something else. That's what he said. And then he said, when it's equal, you'll want monogamy. And I was like, that's really interesting. So he just basically was saying in a nutshell, he's like, either the girl you're with, you'll have to find what she does is more valuable, right? So like, just random example. Let's say like I said Layla, right? So I want more of like a person helping me in business stuff. Like maybe a girl is like more of a homemaker and wants kids, whatever. He's like, you'll have to find more value in that, or you have to find a different girl because you don't value that, and that's why you're having an issue. And I was like, wow, that's really interesting. Because for years, like, when you're with a really great girl and a good person, I think I was really struggling with that because I'm like, man, this is a really great person. I really love this person. I care about this person. This person's there for me. But like there was a little bit of a power imbalance in my mind, right? Because it's all perceived value. Like it's all perception for people.
Do you know the way the doctor said he made you feel normal? Mm-hmm. You're now making me feel normal.
Yeah. So long story short,
all the thoughts, brother, you've now worked out and articulated. I'm thinking to myself now, wow, this is exactly what I've been trying to articulate myself. Because I also had to let go of a relationship who I loved massively, and I'll always love her. She loves to have a piece of my heart. But how she was, I don't value. And what I want in a partner is, like you said, I want a teammate. I don't want a power dynamic.
Right. Like I don't. Yeah, right. So I think on average, most women, they just want the like stay at home, cook and clean, whatever. I'm not saying that's bad. Like I'm not trying to put anyone down. Just for me, like I view that and I'm like, I can pay $20,000 a year to get that.
Yeah.
And like I sometimes I feel bad saying that, but I'm like, that to me valuable is like, it's rare. So it's like, that's not rare. Like in Dubai, I can get someone to clean my house for $30. So I've just always been in that mindset. And long story short, he said that to me, and he was like, look, like you're going to have a conversation, So I had the conversation, didn't go over well. Like, you know, there could be various reasons for like, maybe I didn't approach it right, whatever. But when I found a new girl that was like on the same page as me, I was like, yo,
it
like,
exists.
I was like, well, it wasn't even that. It was just like, I noticed myself being okay being monogamous. And I hadn't noticed that in years. I was like, oh shit. He was like, this guy's right. And he's like, yeah, powerful. Because like when the power dynamic is equal, you want to commit because you don't want to lose that person, right? And I think before he was like, you care about them, they mean a lot to you, but they don't mean enough for you to commit for life. Like it's like they're good enough to date, they're not good enough to marry in your eyes. Like I'm not saying them as an actual person, like they're an amazing person. And so that is actually what got me over the hump, is him explaining that. And then he just made it sound simple. And I said, okay, so, you know, like how about this situation, that situation? He's like, yeah, the power dynamic, bro. He's like, it's like when the power dynamic is equal or someone's above you, you'll want to commit to them. But it's like, if it's unequal, that person's going to keep looking around because they feel like what they're getting, it's like they're not getting what they want. I thought that was really interesting.
Oh wow, bro! I'm just listening and absorbing, because I'm the exact same. Because how I see a relationship as well is, people can be very codependent. So like the women who do want to stay at home and stuff.
Right.
They're
dependent on you,
exactly.
And that's what he says. He's like, when they're dependent, they're in the inferior position, so they want you to commit. But I've
also seen money be used in a unhealthily way with myself as well, where like love and affection tried to be bought. Like money was used to like,
that's why you see these guys giving these girls all this money. And I'm like, bro, like this girl's not even like
you. Bro. So,
and then I'm like, that's not even the relationship I want, where like this girl's with you for your money. It's like the power dynamic's unequal, but these guys are so desperate to get a girl, they'll just do it. For me, girls have never been an issue. So I knew it wasn't like, can I get a girl? It's like, I want to get the right girl.
But that's the thing with me, bro. Like, I know female attention or women isn't a problem, but I've been through that stage now where sleeping with multiple women, like sleeping with beautiful women, going on dates with beautiful women. I've been there and done it now the past 2 years. Yeah. And it's like, I know, you know yourself, a woman can be very beautiful, very, very beautiful, sat over the dinner table from you, but the conversation isn't very beautiful. They're just basically... I don't want to say empty. That's wrong, but you know what I'm saying. There's just no alignment there.
Never enough. Like what is the saying? They say like somewhere there's a guy who's bored of like hooking up with a 10. Because like if that's all it is, bro, it's just not enough.
And I think the work I've done around relationships is you need to be two individuals who then come together to create one powerful force instead of one needing another one. When you're both together, you come together as one, and then you don't need each other, don't depend on each other.
Yeah,
and then that's like, when you co-create the powerness together.
Yeah, and that's
my idea of a powerful relationship.
I agree, because like I see some of these guys. Like I have a buddy, I'm not going to mention his name obviously, but he's like an older guy, he's in his 40s. And he's dated, I mean, every girl. Like, he's probably hooked up with 1 million girls. Like, I'm exaggerating, obviously, but it's like he's been around the block. He's a good-looking guy, super tall. He's like 6'3" or something. He's jacked. Like, he's rich. And the girl he's with, in my eyes, like she's a great girl. I met her. She's nice. But like his whole dynamic is like he met her and moved her to another state in the United States, and she just stays home and basically does nothing. And I'm just like, after all the girls you've dated,
bro,
is that the but some guys like it, and so to each their own. I'm not putting it down. I'm just like, I didn't work my whole life to like just take care of someone, like, and that's how I view that. As like, I don't want to, like, don't get me wrong, I want to take care of my woman, but there's a difference between she does nothing and I just pay for everything versus like, it feels like you're an actual team.
I know this sounds a bit crazy from me as well as I'm thinking it, but if I went home to that, I would literally be like, what the fuck are you doing? And I don't want to put myself in that situation because I don't want to feel like I'm like speaking down to her.
Right.
But for me, it's like, well, what the fuck are we doing?
No,
like, what are we doing today, you know?
I've had girls say in the past, I'm like, okay, so if she just stays home all day and cooks and cleans, what exactly am I getting in the relationship if I can just pay for that? And they're like, oh, you get her presents. I'm like, her presents? I'm like,
it's not a very powerful one, is it?
And I'm thinking like, you're telling me there's 4 billion women and I'm going to take care of her for life and pay all her bills and all this stuff so I can get, I don't know. It's just a little wild to me because I feel the marketplace right now is these women want these high level men and then they don't want to offer anything besides their beauty. And I'm like, that just is, for me, I just think it's laughable. I'm like, that is just not enough. There might be for some guys, but I think, Ellie, I'm just speaking for me. So
no, bro, I'm the same. I'd rather her come home and be like, should we order some food in? Because I'm tired from the gym than be cooking me food.
Yeah.
I'd rather know she's come home from work. She's been working out.
I
don't want her to cook me a meal. I'd much rather go.
I'm the same where like,
should we order a takeaway?
I just literally, like, I don't care if they do that.
Exactly,
I appreciate it.
Exactly, bro. I'm
actually just like, hey, I'd rather you like,
I'd respect
read a
them
book,
more. Yeah.
Work out, help me in my business, like like anything besides that.
I would respect them more. She was like, babe, I'm so tired of work and training, mentally done. Do you want to get on the couch, get a takeaway? I'll cook another night. Like, I'll be like, babe, or I'll cook, of course, I'll do it. Or let's just order some food in. I would value that more than, oh, I've cooked and cleaned all day. Because like you said, I could pay a cleaner for that. So, no, bro, and that's why I'm saying it's so refreshing because you do feel alone on this journey.
I feel most guys are the opposite, though. I feel I'm the 20%.
1,000,000%.
Like, I think most guys, like, when I tell them this, they're like, oh, I don't want my girl to do anything. And I'm like, I would literally kill myself if I was in that situation. I'm dead serious because I'm thinking, like, they look at it like a flex. They're like, yeah, my girl doesn't have to do anything. I'm like, yeah, but like, my girl doesn't have to do anything either, but I want to be like, I want to grow with someone.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they're not growing with me, I feel alone, bro. Like, I remember there's been times with my parents, I'm like, I'd be in a relationship, I'm like, yo, I feel fucking alone. Like, how did
you be okay with knowing that you might not meet somebody then? Because I'm 31 now. How old are you?
I'm older, 34.
So you're 34 now, brother. So how did you become okay with knowing that, well, I might just be on a farm with fucking donkeys and chickens if I don't meet my partner and soulmate?
Yeah, so it's kind of two things. I guess it's two things. So obviously me getting girls is not an issue. Not in a cocky way. It's not hard. I think finding the right girl, that's kind of what you're scared about. So I think what happened for me, luckily, is that so that previous relationship, we've been on and off. And so we were in an off period. And usually what would happen in an off period would be, you know, we split for a second. I'm kind of relieved. I can get a break from it. I start dating a bunch. And then, you know, as time goes by, let's say 1 to 2 months, you're like, oh, these girls are literally even worse. And then that's how you get in these on-off situations. Mm-hmm. So during that off period, I met the girl I'm with now, and she was everything I wanted. And I was like, and that helped bridge the gap. The other thing was that, you know, Dave Martini, he's probably hyping me up, but he just said, he's like, look, bro, like, in short, he's like, look, bro, you're 6'2". You're jacked. You're a multimillionaire. You're good, decent looking. You work hard. It's like, do you really think girls don't want to be with you? And I was like, no. He's like, okay. So he's like, guess what? It's either going to get better or better. He's like, there is no downhill for you. He's like, you're 34. You realize as a man, it's like, you're good, bro. And so I think
you're still in your prime.
So I think also that he's like, look, dude, he's like, what are you worried about? He's like, you're going to be fine. He's like, do you like, and he didn't mean it in a bad way, but he's just like, look, there's a lot of beautiful girls, whatever. He's like, I know you're looking for something different, but there's more of them than there is of you. And I just think like that, maybe he was hyping me up, whatever. 100%. But that helped too, just because he basically was like, look, dude, like you can get girls. That's not the issue. The issue is like you want to find the right one. And he's like, you're good. Like you're not running out of time. You're not a girl who has to be pregnant and your eggs are like getting old and dusty and stuff, because women have to be thinking about this stuff. Bro, yeah. So it was really that. And then when I think one of my good friends too, he just said like, you'll get over the last girl when you meet the new girl. And that's really is true, because until you meet the new girl, like if you're like here, as at least for me, I can't speak for you, but like when you break up and it's a good girl, right? But like things are not aligned or whatever, and you start dating, when you're dating other girls and they're worse, you're like, I broke up with her and now this is even worse. Like, so that's what kind of makes you could go back. But when you break up and you finally meet a girl who's like better or more aligned, however you want to put that, then all of a sudden it's like, that's not as big a deal anymore. So I do believe a little bit, it's like the easiest way to get over the last person is to find the new person. But until you find the new person, it can be a little difficult because you're always comparing. And like that's just human nature.
The man's brain as well, isn't it? Like he said there, like I think it's really powerful to sit down, really be present, and really talk about the inner issues men like all men have, really, because like I think you said you don't struggle with women, I don't struggle with women, but it's still the doubts there, still the questions of am I different? And I think after the men I've spoke to as well, not only that brain, that part of the brain is trying to be okay with being so different. It's tough. It can get lonely.
Like different from other men?
Yeah. Knowing that you are literally wired differently and want more from life.
I think I definitely,
That's been my biggest struggle, 100%.
I think most, like, just speaking about relationships, I think 80% of men want a stay-at-home wife, and then there's 20% like you and me who, like, don't get me wrong, and I'm not even saying that. It's like, I want kids. I just don't want my whole life to be kids. I want to do kind of everything.
What age do you want them?
What age?
What age would you like to have children?
Oh, I mean, pretty soon, bro. Probably pretty
really?
Soon. Yeah, probably pretty soon. Yeah, next 1 to 3 years.
Yeah, I think between 35 and 30.
Yeah,
and 40
I'll be honest though.
great.
I'm glad I've waited till I've been older, because I think I've learned a lot more about myself. Like I think a lot of people, they rush into it.
Another thing as well, bro, what you don't understand is like, because when you are like a 1% man, you've got to remember now, the average man's 60 where they can't walk up the stairs because they're so weak and frail. Yeah. We're going to still be operating at 80.
Oh, that's my point. I want hope
like,
so, bro.
Not hope so, bro.
If I do all
I
this
will make it happen, you know what I mean? Like,
if I do all this working out and I don't make it, then
no, bro, we will. We'll still be 80 doing this podcast, bro. But you got to understand, like, society's medium is mediocrity, and I'm sorry, but it is. Again, it has to be said. So when people are scared or want to be a young mum or a young dad, women can't have an argument, but I don't want to be an old dad is because you're scared to get older, 55. I still plan on running ultramarathons at 70.
Really?
Well, bro, 100%. I ain't stopping for no man.
You'd be like David Goggins.
Yeah, bro.
Like 60
bro.
Surgeries,
yeah.
But
yeah, that's a driving force. But it's also why would I want me child to see a dead old frail man?
No, I agree. I mean, it's.
I want to be my kid's biggest hero. Yeah. I don't want my children looking up to another man on the internet.
Yeah.
I want to be the granddad at 75. Doing push-ups in the garage. Look at my granddad. Like he's a fucking meathead.
Yeah.
So that's what I want.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I mean, yeah, dude. It's just like the worst thing I can imagine is like being alive and just basically being a vegetable or like.
Yeah, exactly.
Around.
No.
It's not fulfilling at all.
How old are your parents?
My parents are 62, 63. Yeah.
Do you have a good relationship with them?
Yeah. I didn't always. Yeah.
What happened there?
So when I was 18, I'm 34 now, but when I was 18, so I grew up Mormon or LDS, right? So they send you on church missions when you're 19 for 2 years, right? And so they wanted me to go on a church mission, but to go on the church mission, you can't have premarital sex, you can't be drinking, like all this stuff. And I had a girlfriend, like a steady girlfriend at the time, and we actually never had sex, but they were really concerned that I was going to or something, or I was going to stay for her. So they basically like called her parents one day and like forced us to break up. We've been dating for like 3 years, and that like, I guess it kind of backfired because I like lost my shit. Like, because I had basically to that point like scholarship offers, good grades, didn't do drugs, didn't party, like wasn't having. I mean, I was like this perfect kid, right? And I remember parents were like, "Yo, I wish like my kids were like you, like your son," and they did that. That actually set me off. So like we didn't speak for like 3 years, and like it really effed me up a little bit. But yeah, we eventually got over it, and we're on better terms now. And like looking back now, the thing was they genuinely, like my parents believed to their core, like what they believe religiously. And so I don't 100% agree with it, but when you meet someone who really believes in what they believe, it's like, all right, yeah. There's people I disagree with who they'll sometimes say stuff and they're like, yeah, but that's what I think. And I respect people who like will say what they think, even if I disagree with it, because it's like that's actually how you convince people. You're like, yeah, like do whatever you want. But this is what I think, and this is the right way. So yeah, looking back now, it could have been handled better, but the girl wasn't right for me anyways.
But can all situations with parents be handled better? I think again with obviously my poor relationship with my parents. Yeah. I think again into today's world, society, we believe family dynamics are meant to be perfect, and unfortunately, that's just not right.
Yeah.
Because we're all going to grow up as human beings with our own values and what our soul wants and what our purpose is on this earth. And unfortunately, what they've just tried to do is push their values on you a little bit too much.
I think when I have kids, what I've learned is that 0 to 5, you can shape them how you want. They're like a dog, right? So people like, oh, my dog's a shithead. It's like, you made him a shithead. You didn't train him. So like 0 to 5.
Our kids will be in the gym with us.
That's serious. Like 0 to 5, think about it. You could give them no sugar, no video games, whatever. They think it's normal.
Yeah.
The only thing it's not normal once they start seeing the rest of the world. So like basically 0 to 5, I'm going to shape my kids how I want. And I'm going to shape them in the way I think will be best for them. From 5 to 18, I think the best way to parent is like, obviously maybe not like 5, but in short, I would be like, hey, look, like if they ask me something, it's like, hey, look, like I wouldn't do that because XYZ, but you make your own decision. Because end of the day, the parents are dumb. Like they think by controlling their children, they're going to create an outcome. Dude, the craziest people I would meet in university or college was the kids who parents didn't let them do anything. They go in college and they act absolutely insane because their parents didn't let them do anything. So to me, it's like, I'd rather have an honest relationship with my son or my daughter. And like, I probably would say like, hey, look, like if you want to go smoke weed, you want to do drugs, you want like whatever, I'll be like, I want to do it. And this is why, but if you feel you want to do it, go do it. But like you deal with the consequence, because I think like if you wait until they're like older and they're out of the house, they're just going to start making all those decisions then. So it's like, I would rather them make those decisions now. And even if they make the wrong decision, you have to let them. I think I agree with you. Like people think they can influence their children too much and they think they're them. And it's like, they're separate people. So
society will have more of an influence on your children than you will as parents.
Yeah, yeah.
You can guide them and teach them things and discipline them and show them the right way.
Right.
But if they meet a little, they meet you fall in love at 17 and get all flustered and they're told not to have sex, they're going to go and have sex.
Right. And so I think the best way is you raise them the way you want as best you can until 5. That's the most impressionable years you're going to have. And then after that, it's like, hopefully they've picked up on some of those values. And then for me, I'm just going to tell my kids, it's like, look, this is what I would do in this situation. This is the consequence. But you make the choice. And I'd rather have that, because if you don't, they're going to do it behind your back, or they're going to like, it doesn't work. Like, in fact, that actually works better, because if they're like, oh, well, dad's going to let me make my own choice, they'll trust you more, and then they'll be more open with you. But if you start restricting people, they just push the opposite direction. Like to be honest, like I was laughing at my parents because in Dubai, like there's a lot of Muslims, right? And I think like the way my parents' religion is, like LDS, Mormonism, whatever, it's very similar. Like, and so I actually said, you guys would love it here because they actually enforce like some of the rules that you guys live by. But you hear all the crazy stories in Dubai that happen underground, and it's like, I think it's the same thing, because when you push really hard in one direction, people push back. Yeah, and so I think the best way to handle stuff is you just like say, hey, here's how I think you should live your life. This is why I do it, but you make your own decision. And that's like, to me, that's how you actually have better influence on people, because then they start thinking like, man, well, he's like letting me make my own choice, but like, I don't know, like he's doing it this way and he seems really convinced, but he's like not forcing it on me. That's what makes people.
I think more if you tell people, they'll feel like more pressured.
Right, and they don't do it.
Yeah,
It's like if I'm
it.
trying to convince someone to like change religions, and I'm just like, "You're stupid," like that's so dumb. They just get defensive.
You have to show them.
Right, and so you have to. Right, and so the only way to truly get people to change is like not telling them. It's like by them watching you, right? And I think over time, like for me with the girl stuff, it was two things. Number one was like, I mean, it took 5 years, which I am a little upset about that, but it is what it is. But seeing my friends kind of living that lifestyle where they had tons of girls, not really wanting to be like those guys, seeing my friends who were with one girl, seeing their lives are a lot better, and then seeing, once I talked to Dr. DeMartini, and then it just like all came together, and I was like, okay, if this is the way, these are the guys I looked up to, and they're living life this way, and these are the guys I don't look up to, and they're living their lives this way. And then I talked to, Dr. DeMartini, and he says this. It's like, all right, this is like definitely, I think it came together, and it's like, this is the way you should be going. Right, so
I think it's powerful, but again, it's like that quote comes to mind: don't get angry and upset over something only time could show you, because that's probably been my biggest struggle as a man. Like my biggest struggle is let me rephrase that: the years I thought I was telling myself I lost. So my biggest mental health struggles growing up was, these are meant to be the best years of my life, but I'm losing them through mental health, through unfortunate things will happen to me, the life I was born into. And again, it wasn't until like you spoke to Dr. Martini, and my psychotherapist, he's like my life guide. He was like, don't get upset about something what only time could show you. And that was when something really come together for me, because it was like, I could never have worked this out alone. I was just a little boy. I was just, a young man. How were I ever meant to have the emotional maturity to see past what happened? So I think time is something we're always going to really struggle with to accept, because I'm the same. If anything, probably I've beat myself up over the past decade, never mind the past 5 years. So I think it's kind of, again, when I coach men as well, they always tell me, I always say to them, do it from a place of love. And they go, what do you mean? And it's like, can we not just be so hard on ourselves? Like, can I love myself enough to go, these cards were dealt to me,
I think that's the hard part. That is a hard part though, because I felt a lot of guilt, because when I finally came to that, I guess
the realization.
Thank you. Like I couldn't find the word. When I came to that realization, I looked back at all the years, basically ping-ponging back and forth, and was like, man.
Well, what was the alternative though? So
I don't think there was, bro. I mean, I don't think
there was. So it was so straight there, then it's the right path then, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think where the guilt comes from is when it affects another person negatively. Of course. Right? And you just feel horrible. Like you just feel like, I felt horrible, bro. Like I was like, man, this just like is really effed up, right? Because
you hurt her in the process.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, bro. And she's a good girl. And then like honestly, to get to this place, I think like you never know in like breakups, because I don't know, at least for me, like in this girl, like when there's been a lot of damage over the years, you never know if I guess at the end if it's at the end now because of the damage in the past, so they're just less trusting, right? Like so that you're actually ready, you can actually do it, but they don't trust you, or they don't actually want to do it the way you've described. Because like obviously getting to this place was part of it, but then also I think the way I want my girl to be in my life, like, hey, I want like a teammate, not like just like a
like somebody relying on me.
Yeah. And so anyways, I think there's a little bit there where I'm not too sure. Like I'm like, does she really not want to do it, or is she just really hurt from she doesn't believe I am like changed or whatever? But I don't even know where we're going with that.
So the conversation was, you obviously left the relationship and you were really struggling with.
Yeah, I mean, I still am to a degree. Like,
was it the right decision? So what is it exactly you're questioning yourself over?
I think,
because there's no doubt I can resonate with this.
Yeah. So I think what I ruminate over is that, you gotta think of it from. I'm trying to think of it from her point of view. It's like, okay, this guy's this guy has been back and forth with me for years. One sentence will say he needs other girls, then he comes back and says he doesn't, then he says he does, then he says he does, because we were on and off quite a bit, right? And now he's finally coming to me saying he can be, with one girl, but he needs me to show up in all these different ways, right? And so I think I felt guilty about that because, I think the way, the split ended, it was like, I don't believe, she was almost like, I don't believe what you're saying is true. She was like, I think you need God or something like that. And then she was just obviously hurt in the past. And then I was like, okay, well, this is stupid because that is true. And that's what I need. But I think I have guilt in the sense of hey, if you hadn't hurt her for so many years, she wouldn't be so against you, right? She wouldn't be F you, et cetera, et cetera. And then obviously moving on into a new relationship, I think I have guilt where it's I'm in this new relationship and so far, everything has gone exactly how I've hoped. And she's not with someone and I am with someone, but I'm the one who caused her all this pain. So it kind of feels unfair in a sense. It's I should be alone and she should be with someone. And I don't know, stuff around that, bro. So
I think that's really powerful though, bro. Even just you saying it out loud, it's that's completely normal, by the way. And it's but from my perspective, it's you realistically, that relationship never was for you. Because we know that, because obviously you wanted more, so we can't. So it would have never worked out anyway. Only down the line.
You think so? Because I guess the part I struggle with is if I had known what I know now earlier, and I communicated that, could she not have done that? Because when we met, she was more like that. Meaning, the way we met is she was, she was super into fitness. She had her own little business. She was super smart. She's super beautiful. I was like, yo, this girl's I remember. And as we've gotten older, and when I met her, she was 21? Yeah, 21. So she's 29 now, right? And as she got older, she started kind of I want to be a mom. I want to have kids, and which is fine, by the way. It's it's not that I don't want those things, but I just don't want it to be my whole life. Meaning, my parents had 7 kids. I want a 7. It's been their whole life, bro. And kudos to them, but that's not what I want. I want 2 or 3 kids, but I can still, I want to experience children, but I don't want it to all I have is children. Does that make sense?
Of course it does.
And so I think, getting back to your question, I think I just look at that and I go, maybe if I hadn't heard her so many times, and maybe if I had gotten to this sooner and had explained that sooner, because you gotta remember during those years, I didn't know what was going on. I just was yeah, I don't know. I just feel uneasy. I don't think I can do it. And she was like, yo, what the fuck, bro? What is wrong with you? And now I'm finally saying hey, I just need you to do this. And if I get that, then I can set this stuff aside. And she's like, oh, okay. You've said that before. Does that make sense?
Yeah, bro. You know what, bro? I have to put my coaching hat on here, but it's from me, it's you're trying to save her. At any point, brother, she could have got up and walked away. She's a fully grown woman.
No,
you're putting all this pressure on yourself, which again, by the way, bro, I've been through it. It's because the work I've had to do exactly the same. I had all the guilt that if I wasn't so chaotic, if my mental health wasn't so bad, because one thing I got really guilty over in my past relationship, what she said to me was what broke my heart. I didn't ask for your life. So she said to me...
She said that to you?
Yeah, she said...
I didn't ask for your life?
Yeah, so the life I brought into our relationship dynamic, which is very unfortunate. And bro, it broke me. I was literally on my hands and knees to my therapist for 2 years. And
what does she mean by that though?
The chaos and unfortunate events I brought into the relationship. Yeah. She had a great life, parents, all good. And that isn't something I had. Yeah. So I was really guilty that our whole relationship I ruined because of my dynamic and my issues from childhood. So when she told me that when we split up, she just really said really bluntly, well, I didn't ask for your life. Brother, it was like a dagger through the heart. So I felt a lot of guilt.
I'm trying to say, but why was she trying to say that? Meaning you were spending time on a bunch of things I didn't really care about?
What she's trying to say is that everything what happened in our relationship between me and her was a massive effect from who I was in that relationship. What I brought to that relationship as a man was obviously a very wounded version of me because of what happened to me as a childhood. And a lot of my issues from childhood did get put in the middle of our relationship. So when I would bring up situations like our connection and things we'd speak about, why aren't we further ahead than we should be? And what one of the replies is, well, I didn't ask for your life and your life got brought into my life as a partnership.
So she basically was just saying I don't want what you want.
No, no. What she's trying to say is everything I brought into the relationship, like, was unfortunate. So all my issues I brought into it. So my life affected her.
Got you.
So
in a bad way.
In a bad way.
Yeah.
So when she told me that, bro, I dealt with this underlying guilt in my heart of like, I've ruined a life. Why have my life had to ruin somebody else's life? My relationship would have been all good. I would have been married to her by now. The issues we had, then I was like, well, maybe it's my fault. Maybe because of who I was, because of my childhood, I've rubbed off on her to now be that woman. So, brother, I had all these issues for years in my mind until...
Because you felt guilty for it.
Very guilty, brother.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, like, when I resonate with you, it's like, I've ruined a life. She had the perfect life and I ruined it. I come in...
So how'd you get over it?
Well, my therapist said to me, she's a fully grown woman. She could have left at any time. You didn't have her by handcuffs. You didn't have her tied to the bed. You didn't have her tied up. She is her own woman and can leave at any second. If she's not happy with what you brought to that relationship,
yeah, I think
she could have left at any point.
And I think, it's funny you say that.
So I'm saying that to you because, like, do you see the dynamic where you're like, if I'd just done this, maybe we would have been better.
Well, right. And I agree, but I still... I feel like I've kind of let that go where it's like I'm not owning it, but you still look at it, it's like, you know, if I had handled that better. But I think to your point, that is a good point you make, because something I've really tried to do in my new relationship is I tell her the truth about everything.
That's powerful.
And kind of like how we're having this discussion, like I've told her this stuff. I'm like, yeah, like sometimes like I think about the past and I struggle with it and da 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 da. But like, kind of to your point, I've told her, I'm like, but look, if like that's too much or it bothers you or whatever, I totally get it. If like this is not a good time for us to be there, but like that's where I'm at. And it's kind of nice because when you're that honest with people, you're not hiding stuff. It kind of puts the ball in their court where they can choose how to handle it. Kind of like you said.
I just don't think you get how powerful you are, brother, because I don't think you give yourself enough credit. Honestly, my man, it's because the only way a partner would struggle with that information is if they weren't emotionally mature enough to deal with it. So they would see you speaking about your past as a threat. Yeah. So that's their...
No, she is super emotionally mature.
So that's her insecurity. So if you've got a woman... Because let's be honest, bro, everybody's going to have a story. Yeah. Everybody's going to have a past. Yeah. Everybody's had a bad boyfriend, bad girlfriend. It doesn't mean they still have a hold on them because it emotionally challenges them. So if any woman or man sees you speaking about a past relationship as... Stop speaking about stuff. That's their own insecurities.
No, 100%.
Because if you give them your everything as a man, but are open enough to speak about your issues and be aware enough as a man, brother, that is like extremely powerful to be able to do. So I think you are onto an absolute, bro. 100%.
Well, it's like the funny part is most of this has happened the last 6 months. Like before, like basically what happened is I got super desperate. Like I've been desperate a couple of times. Like the first time I got desperate, I went and did, bro, in like a month or two, I did like ayahuasca, bufo, ibogaine.
That was me in Bali a few weeks back.
Dude, ibogaine, mushrooms. I was going crazy.
Yeah, bro.
And so I did that, and then I've done a bunch of stuff. But really what happened this last time is I said, like, I keep going back and forth. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck is wrong? So I finally said, I'm taking a sabbatical from chicks, which actually is what I'd recommend to anyone listening to this, is I took 90-day sabbatical, like no girls,
that's where I'm at
no
now.
Porn, nothing. Like I cut it all out. Actually, and like I'm actually 6 months now, like no porn, which I actually like. I never was addicted, but you know, here and there. And I actually think like that was probably the best thing I've ever done. Like looking back, I'm never gonna go back to that. That was one of the best things I've ever done. But I did that, and then I went to New Zealand. I met Dr. John DeMartini, and like then we had that discussion, and I'm like, that's where all this progress has been made. And I think it started by like, one of the things I think I made a mistake is like when I break up or something, I'd immediately start trying to date girls, and you're not like giving yourself a chance to like think. And by taking a 90-day sabbatical, I could really sit with my thoughts and feelings and like just really like focus on that. And that really helped. It wasn't fun, obviously, from the standpoint of like, I mean, like I like girls, but it was crazy because I actually did that. I talked to him, and then like the first girl, like literally the first girl I spoke to is my girlfriend now. It's
not going to be fun though as well, but that's why happiness is just an emotion, just like sadness, chaos, overwhelm, all starts with a thought process, right? So we're never always going to be happy, but also what you don't realize is by you being so open and aware that gives your partner permission to be open in a way too.
No, it's like it's how I
so
feel
she now knows it's okay if she was going to bring in anything from her past relationships because you've been so open and honest.
Like the thing is about intimacy. I think that at least my view of it now is that I think what makes intimacy so intimate is you're basically telling the person you're with, like your innermost kind of like feelings and secrets. And then they can at any time like say like that's too much, but when they don't, you get closer. And that's how it feels to me, because it kind of feels like you're taking these mini risks on a daily basis, but every time it pays off, you get closer. And then if it doesn't pay off, then like the reality is that they're not the right person for you, or at least it's not the right time, whatever. And I think all of us fall into this trap where we don't want to tell our partner the truth because we're afraid of the outcome. But the irony is, like, when you get to a place where you start feeling like you can't tell your partner how you actually feel, that probably isn't the right partner for you, because like you should be able to be like your full self with that person, right?
So yeah, brother, even when you're saying there, like obviously you're bringing the past into it and it's okay, like I have also had to make that commitment that when I go into a new relationship, I have to be so open and honest that I have had a childhood of like the 0.5% on the planet. It has affected on me. Past relationships have affected on me. And sometimes I may not be what you see on surface level. I still get help. I still have people to lean on. Like, I can't be the polished version all the time because, again, it's just not real. And on the other hand as well, even when I've been in Bali, I've done tantra sex retreats, sexual energy retreats. I now know what sexual desires I have as a man, because I was so dead for such a long time in intimacy. Internally as a man, feelings, sexual desires, what I require, communication I require, all these different things I didn't even think existed. Like you said, I've went away and done the work, and now I know myself on such a powerful, internal, deep level.
That's the key, right?
I now, my commitment is that I will sit down in front of you and say, listen, babe, this is who I am. This is how life's going to be. I will provide X, Y, Z. But I'm not perfect, and this is the past I have, but this is also the work I've done and what I now require. If you think that this is powerful enough and we align, let's dance. If not, then I'm completely okay with it. Because I've now sat, like I said, I've sat with enough beautiful women over me at a table to know that the sex and the looks isn't what I want.
I think that's the thing. You got to get to a place where you know yourself and you're okay with like a negative or bad outcome, meaning like you tell the girl something and she's not cool with it, and you're like,
that's her own insecurities again. No,
yeah. You just I think, because ultimately, if you're just doing stuff to make them happy, it doesn't last anyways. Because
you just lose the one man. All that matters is that's you.
Yeah.
Well, we've been deep in relationships there, so let's hit some businessy stuff, brother. Sure. Let's hit some businessy stuff, because but don't worry, this is now called the Hype for Man podcast, Behind the Money. Cool. Because what you don't realize is you've answered my soul's purpose that little bit more, is to really bring out and go deeper with men on such a level that the world don't see. So I thank you, brother. I promise you. Sure, So businessy wise, again, one thing I always want to get across is like how lonely and stuff it can be, how lonely a man can feel when the brain is. I don't want to say wired differently, because I think every man's got it in them, but all here to build our kingdom. I just think a lot of men don't have it in them to overcome how they feel. But what's been your biggest, let's call it, I don't really just want to say mental health and label you with like depression or anything, but let's be honest, we've all fucking struggled. What's been your biggest struggles throughout your entrepreneurship journey, money journey, whatever your climb to success? What's been your biggest struggle?
So I remember there's a story,
or a period, or even an extended period of time.
Yeah. So okay. So when I started making money, I was like, what, 26, 27? Anyways, my first 2 years of business, I made $2,000, and then my next year I made $1 million, and then we did 10 million, and like it was crazy. So basically 0 to 18 months, we got to $1 million a month, right? And that was my goal. So like, if you had seen me during those 18 months. I mean,
unhealthy?
Yeah, it was just like 16 hours a day, work, and that, like, I barely did anything else. I mean, I would just work, and that was it. So I got there, and I remember when I got there, that was such a big goal for me. So I was like, yeah, fucking did it. Like, that was my mission, right? Like, everything I did, was around making $1 million a month. So I hit $1 million in a month. So I had this huge party. I remember I just bought like a Lamborghini Aventador SVJ. I just bought this like massive penthouse. Like I was like living this shit up. And I had this huge party. and all these random people came, right? It was like a bunch of randos. I didn't really care. I was like, whatever, I'm fucking killing it, so who cares? So I remember this guy looked at me and he said, hey, whose house, like, he's talking to Ali. He's like, hey, whose house is this? I'm like, oh, it's my house. He's like, oh, dude, sick. And he was like, awesome. Like, what's the party for? And I remember, like, I was so proud of myself, and I was like, yeah, dude, I hit $1 million in a month, and told him, like, you know, it's like getting all excited. And he was like, cool, like almost like, what the fuck, you weirdo, and like kind of turned around, and I remember thinking, damn,
Wow.
yeah, like I've
really, just felt that.
Yeah, it really hit me in that moment, and I remember thinking,
this isn't it.
Damn, he doesn't care.
Wow, bro, I've just felt that.
Yeah, like he didn't care, and I remember it just like really fucked with my head, because I was like, dude, you don't understand though. Like in my head, I'm like, you know, I didn't say this, but I'm thinking, you don't understand. Like, I just gave my whole life for the last 18 months to do this. And like, I just hit a number that like 99.9% of people won't hit. Like, what the fuck do you mean? But I remember he didn't care. And so I remember the next day after the party, like, I just was sitting on the balcony overlooking Miami, and I'm thinking, man, like, I got no shot. Like, I'm not going to ever be like important, because like, I bet there's people who don't know who Mark Zuckerberg is, or Elon Musk, or Barack Obama, or Donald, like whoever. And that took me down like a pretty dark path for a while. And I want to say, I think it actually made me like a little bit more nihilistic, where I started to realize, like, at least what helped me more was, you know, hey, maybe there isn't a purpose to everything, or maybe there doesn't have to be a purpose. But eventually I got to a place where it was like, maybe there doesn't need to be a meaning. Like, maybe I just enjoy it, because I went on a sabbatical, I did all these things. And then I finally got to a place I was like, hey, look, like, I enjoy business, I enjoy growth, and that can be that's the only reason I really need. I don't think there has to be all these other reasons. But I do think it was powerful, where I realized people really don't give a fuck what you're doing. And so if you're doing shit to impress other people, the thing is, they don't give a fuck. They do not care at all, and they're not even thinking about you.
So the work I've done, do you think I know. Where do you think your biggest driving point has been for that sort of money? So we know your parenthood, the lack of acceptance was there at a certain point. We had you wanted to be a pro athlete, and you didn't make it.
I think
or a bit of mixture of everything.
No, I think looking back, it's different now, obviously, but looking back when I was younger, so I grew up very religious, very conservative. I had 2 older sisters. I had no brothers, so I was the first boy. It just, I was very sheltered, so I was kind of weird. We'll just say it that way. And so when I was in, 5th, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, I remember like people would like, they say the F word, and I'm like, I didn't even know it was a cuss word, bro. Like, I'm like, 10, 12 years old, and I'm like, you're an idiot, you're a retard. And they're like, fuck you, motherfucker. They're saying like really crazy stuff. And I got made fun of a lot. And I remember that I started working out. That's like when I was 12 years old, I was like, okay, I'm going to beat these kids up. And I didn't tell that to my parents, but I was like, yeah, I just want to start working out, whatever. And I started going to the gym. And it took me 3 months, and I almost quit. I was like, man, this is so hard. My muscles hurt so bad. Long story short, after 3 months, I remember going to school, and the teacher's like, yo, you're looking jacked. And then like girls were like, yo, like what the? And like people start commenting. I was like, oh shit. I was like, so if I work hard, like this is what happens. And then I started applying that to school and sports and girls. And then before you knew it, it was kind of my trump card. Like a guy would be like, F you, Tanner, da-da-da-da-da. And I'd be like, yeah, but bro, like I'm on the A team, and I got the hottest girlfriend, and I make good grades. Like, fuck you, And it was like, it was always like my trump card. And so probably, to be honest, like if I look back, it was that I got bullied when I was younger. And I think when you have the status and you have the looks and you got the girl, it's really hard for a dude. Like even right now, if you look at my life, like I have all 3 right now, in my opinion. And it's like
0.1% of
yeah. So if someone tries to talk shit to me, it's like, but like, look at me and look at you. So it's like, okay. And that's not the only driving force now, for sure. It's more about being all I can be. But I will say, like, it does feel, I think that is a driving force in the sense of like, it feels good when someone's talking shit to you, where you can just be like, look at me, look at my bank account, look at my girl. Like, what do you got? Oh, no. Okay. Shut the fuck up. It's kind of like a trump card. So that, to be honest, that probably was the biggest driver. Now it's more about me.
So I was just about to say that. So let's flip that, because it all starts with that external driving force, right?
Yeah, always.
To then get to the money, to realize it never was the money, because we wanted the feeling what the money would bring, to not have the feeling.
Yeah.
That resonates.
Yeah, and I think now I've really fallen in love with being all I can be. Like I really do like that, because if it's like, don't get me wrong, like before I did $1 million a month, like that was enough. But then once you hit it, like the very next day I was like, well, now what? And I was like, that guy didn't even care. And I feel literally the same. And so you have to find something else. So I really enjoy the journey now. Like, and I do try to enjoy it because that's really like,
well, that is the purpose. The man in the mirror is the biggest purpose. And it's like, this is actually what in coaching we call expansive discipline. So you have the financial side down. So where can you expansively see in your life we need to get better? Not just you, but this is the work I do with all men. Is it your relationship? Is it your health and fitness? Is it parenthood? Is it you being a better friend? Is it giving back to community? Is it returning back to your hobbies? Because without all of that, you cannot be your best entrepreneur. Without filling yourself up, the cup up, without filling your own internal energy bar up, you can't be your best man. You can't be your best dad. You can't be the best businessman. And you're actually self-sabotaging your own future then, because the money will always not be as much as it could be. You're going to die early, let's be honest. Like, you're not having sex. Like, if you're not having sex, your health is in a place where you're going to die 20 years prior with this. Or you might be having sex, but not having powerful sex. Your health is that bad, you're going to die 20 years before. You speak down to your children. You don't love what you see in the mirror, but your bank balance is okay. Are you really wealthy? Let's be honest. No. No, you're not. No. Because that money can only, for so long, buy you the ego in you. It can only buy you so much time until you realize, shit, something's got to change. Was that moment for you after you hit $1 million a month? You were like, this isn't it.
And don't get me wrong, like, I'm still very driven. I still want to make a ton of money and stuff. But yeah,
that's what people don't realize though. When you are your most powerful self, when you go to the gym, when you see yourself progressing, the money is a byproduct. The business is a byproduct of you feeling your best.
Yeah, and it's
so the drive and the energy towards it gets better.
That's what keeps you in it. Like if you're only doing something to make money, once you hit that amount, you're gonna stop. And so what's been good for me too is, like, I'm so growth minded that I really just enjoy growing companies and building companies and going to the gym because I want to grow myself. And then you make money as a byproduct is great. It's like you said, it's like, I'm not doing it for the money per se, but I'm doing it because I want to grow. And I want to win. I want to make money. And that's kind of a benchmark. But yeah, I mean, like, you won't stick with something if that's the only reason, I think. Because when it gets tough, you're going to quit.
Not you think, bro, 100%. Like you said, you probably put yourself under that much stress under that 16-day period. Probably took 2 years off your life to get there and go, well, what now? You had the big party, you had the celebration, just for some nobody to go, what a wanker. I don't care about his money, you know? But that's actually, we call that in coaching a come to Jesus moment. It's when you come to Jesus and be like, shit, this isn't it. You know, like, what I've got right now, or who I am, or who I'm not being, stuff has to change. Like, something has got to, because if I carry on like this, it's only going to end one way. And that's how our internal purpose works as men. Don't forget, we are souls having a human experience, not the other way around. Like, we have to keep lighting that fire. We have to keep, like, if you were camping and the campfire was going to go out, you'd do anything to keep the campfire on, wouldn't you? But in today's world and society, men are so mediocre, and I say that with love, by the way. But it's true though, right? Like, men are so mediocre, but I know they feel like us, because it's in our blood to build the kingdom, to have powerful sex, to feel authoritative. It's who we are.
Yeah.
But,
no, I agree.
But men just get lost, and that's my purpose now, that men who have money felt like once we did and I did, that I can lead them to that. Because when a man sends me a text saying he's had the best sex he's had, or he looking himself in the mirror, he loves what he sees, the business is earning more money, I get more of a kick out of that than just as much as I do my own life doing that. Because these men are messaging me and I'm pumping iron myself.
No, that's,
and I'm like, fuck yeah, you know?
Yeah, it's a good feeling when you're helping push other people's lives forward.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. So what is success looking like for you? What does the future look like?
Yeah, bro, for me,
I seen you had a car crash, by the way, is that right? I mean, that
wasn't even a car crash. So I was on one of those stupid, like...
Was you drunk?
No, it really wasn't. Like, so I was on... So here's the crazy part. I was on one of those, like, little scooters in Miami. And usually I Uber, because when I got to Miami, I had 3 cars, and then I sold them all because it's pointless. So I was just, like, I got this little scooter. Like, one of my friends was like, yo, you should get a scooter and drive it to the gym. So I was like, okay. So I bought the scooter, started taking it to the gym. And like everything was fine, but like it was one of two things happened because I still have no recollection. Like I literally cannot remember that time period in my life, like at least 10 days, because I hit the ground so hard. So
Wow.
one of two things happened, but I'm almost 100% sure it was a car. So I was on the scooter, and there were train tracks, and either one or two things happened. Like I was going like 20 miles an hour, wasn't that fast. So the wheel got stuck in the track, and I flew off. But the thing is, I hit, like I had bruises and stuff on the bottom, and I'm thinking, okay, if I hit the tracks, I would have fell forward, but I like basically fell backwards and hit my head. So I think like that doesn't make sense to me. I think a car hit me. But the thing is, I don't remember anything. I woke up. I don't even remember being in the hospital. I have no memory from like January 6th to January like 20th of 2000. It was last year, 2025. Like they were showing me pictures of my birthday's on January 16th. They were showing me pictures. They were showing me videos. And the reality is like, I don't remember any of it. So there was no footage. Like there was no footage. No one asked. So basically, like, as far as I know, I got hit by a car. I woke up, like they said like I was laying on the street. They thought I was dead. Like they thought I was like a drug addict.
Holy
I was just
shit.
like, yeah. And so what happened is I hit my head so hard that I had an internal brain bleed. And if you can die from that. Basically it's just like if you bleed too much, you'll die. They were able to stop the bleed. And I was able to recover. It took like 4 months though. So for anyone who's never had a head injury, I basically was mentally retarded. Like I had Alzheimer's. It was bad, bro. Like
Wow.
I would say stuff. I didn't know what I was saying. Like people were saying like, bro, you're slurring your words. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, and it sounded normal to me. Like, you're slurring your words. And it was the injury. So it took me like 4 months. It was really difficult.
So was that a massive turning point for you?
Oh, I mean, yes and no. I mean, what was cool is I remember a friend asked me and they said, you know, do you have any regrets? Like if you had died, because I almost died. Right. And I remember thinking, like, obviously there's stuff I've regretted, but like, I was like, no, like, because I've done my best. Like I genuinely felt like to this point where I'm at in my life, I feel I've done my absolute best. Like, I'm not super religious, but like in the Bible, there's that like parable with Jesus where it's like the 1, the 3, and the 5 talents, and 2 of the guys double their talents, 1 guy doesn't. I feel like I've doubled them. Like I've done everything I can do with the amount of talent I've been given. But yeah, like it just made me like reflect. Like, am I doing the right things? Am I spending my time on the right things? You know, it made me like think about what I've been doing. I was like, yeah, like I'm happy with what I'm doing with my life overall. Like I didn't feel like I was wasting time or something like that. But yeah, it wasn't a fun time, and I was still trying to run the businesses and stuff like that. It was a really shitty time, bro. Cause like I basically was like a little child. Like my energy was really off. Like it was just really horrible. Like if you've ever had a concussion that bad, it really affects you.
So let's say Tanner is lying on his deathbed, right?
Yeah.
He's 101.
Yeah.
His time's come to an end. What is it he wants to lie on that deathbed and think? Actually, let's start with the regret. What don't you want to not do? And what do you want to be proud for?
Yeah, bro. It's just, for me, it's just doing my best. Like,
what does that look like? Okay, where can get better? Let's be honest. Where can get better? What do you think you can do to better yourself after this podcast? Would you like to give to community more? Would you like, because obviously money isn't an issue, so we struggle when we have enough money. That where can we get better?
No, I honestly, like right now, this might sound douchey, but this is probably
whatever feels right.
Yeah,
for you.
so this is probably the first time in my life where I feel like, because I look at life in kind of 3 main places, right? It's like fitness, business, relationships. At least for me, like you could say money, whatever. I feel like this is the first time in my life where like everything's like hitting. So for me, I just want to keep staying there, meaning like keep showing discipline in all those areas and keep progressing. I feel like I'm doing that right now. So in terms of like what else I need to be doing, I don't really feel like I need to be doing anything else. Like I feel like right now, like what's ahead of me is what I should be doing.
Perfect.
And yeah, if I lie on my deathbed, I think all you're going to do on your deathbed is you're going to look back at your life and your experiences, and it doesn't matter. Like I say this all the time. I say like, it really doesn't matter if what you accomplish. I really believe that. Because it only matters like when you're feeling down or like you're having a bad day. But like when you look back on your life, all you're going to worry about is like, did you do your best? I think. Because like whether you become a billionaire or not, or you go to the NFL or you don't, or here's a quick story. I won't take too long, but like I want to play in the NFL. And I remember when I was 14 years old, I worked out for 9 hours a day to make the varsity team. Like literally, I would do 3 hours of basketball because I was a two-sport athlete, 3 hours of American football, 3 hours of running, and I made varsity. And then I remember when I got in college, like I was one of the strongest players on the team. Like I trained like crazy amounts. I went to all the 2-days, all the summer workouts, whatever. So I remember when it ended, I was like obviously depressed, but I remember thinking, dude, I did everything I could do. Like I did everything I could do. And I played with a couple first-round draft picks. So the best one I ever played with, his name was Ezekiel Ansah. You can look him up. He was in Ghana, came over to BYU is where I played at, walked onto the football team, never played football in his life, American football, played 6 games, went 5th pick in the draft, made tens of millions of dollars. And he was 6'8", 275, ran a 4.5, which like
Genetically, God.
he was a genetic Superman. And I remember seeing that and I was like, I have trained my entire life for this moment, and he walked in and was better than me. And I remember thinking, there's nothing else you can do, bro. Like you like there is nothing else. There is nothing you could have done to be better than that guy. But I was like, but I did everything. Like in your moment, you're thinking, if I had worked hard, could I have been better than him? I worked harder than anybody. I remember even the coaches in my high school and college, they were like, bro, like you are a freak. They're like, you need to like go home and rest, right? And so going back to your question, like when you're laying on your deathbed, I think that's all that matters is like, if you've done your best, and most people don't really know what their best is. David Goggins talks about this, or Michael Jordan, like The Last Dance, right? He's like, the cool thing is like when you hit a goal, you can always go harder. That's what it's telling you. It's like, I hit this, I had this goal, and then I hit this goal. It's like, well, then it's like you can go even harder. And so I just think for me, it's just like I don't have regret. I want to do my best. And right now in my life, I'm very conscious of that. Like, if I have, like if my girlfriend's upset about something, I really look at that and I'm like, if I was the world's best boyfriend, how would I handle this? And I handle it that way. Or in business, I'm like, hey, if I was the best CEO, like how would I handle this situation? Or if I'm like in the gym, it's like if I'm the best, like it's really at the end of the day, it's figuring out who you want to be. And then when you get in tough situations, asking yourself like, what would that person do? And then do that. And then the cool thing is you become that person. I think it's that simple. And people really overcomplicate life, or like we have hard decisions and we don't want to make them. But like right now, for example, like, you know, obviously the relationship stuff we talked a lot about, like I have a little bit of internal conflict, like, you know, like I recently left the past and I'm in the future and like, am I doing the right thing? But like, the thing is I'm making all the right moves right now. Like I'm making all the right decisions. Like, you know, one example is like I sent, like an example that I sent like a closure letter and, you know, to my ex, and basically before I sent it, I like told my new girlfriend, I was like, you know, is this okay? Because like, I don't think that's right to do.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's like really weird. And it's like really shady. She was like, yeah, if you feel like you need to do it and great.
Sound like you got a winner, bro. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah, she's awesome. And so I sent it, and the response wasn't very nice. We'll just put it that way. And the old me would have been like, I would have probably reacted, been like, you know, F you, or like whatever. But I literally just was like, you know what? Leave it. It's like, you sent a nice letter. It was like perfect. Like I went over a few times. Like it was a good letter. It had all the points in there that I wanted to make, whatever. And like her response was kind of visceral and like really, I thought it was kind of effed up. But like I handled it in a way that like I didn't feel like doing that, but I knew it was the right decision. And like looking back a few days later, you kind of always know, you're like, yeah, like that was the right decision. And I think that's the key of life, is like just figure out like what the best version of yourself would do in those situations and do it. And when you do that, man, you just have a lot of pride. I personally do. Like when I make the right decisions like that, I feel really good about myself.
Yeah, and I mean, even there, bro, that decision there, the way it's changed, this is the only thing we can do. We can only fuck about and find out. We can. As you know, brother, we can. As men, we can only figure out where it needs work, hit it head on, and figure this shit out. And if it's wrong, it's wrong. Like even there, that situation where you sent the letter, bro, we honestly, this podcast gone for hours, but we'll save it for number 2 in Liverpool. But like that, I think just close down the situation and look forward to what you've got ahead, because obviously you're traveling. Not many entrepreneurs can say they're lucky enough to travel, do stuff like this. So you're already living life as a 0.1%.
Right, yeah,
100%,
and it's like, and it's like trying to enjoy that, try not to put pressure on myself, but also make the right decisions. And like that's the thing, like, you know, you're gonna make mistakes, so it's not about not making mistakes. But for example, like the other day I had something came up with my girlfriend, and she was like, hey, this kind of makes me feel this way. And it wasn't that I purposely was trying to make her feel that way, but regardless, I was like, okay, if that's how it makes her feel, what would like a good boyfriend do in this situation? And then I was like,
bro, your mind just works just like mine.
yeah, but it's just, yeah. So I just was like, let's do that. And then just by doing that, it's like, I didn't purposely try to make the mistake, so I can't be hard on myself for that. And then I fixed it by like making a better decision. And it's like that's all you can do. And I think as
that comes with awareness though, which 99.9% of men don't have. It's reactive. You have to create that space.
It's not just men. It's everyone, bro. It's like, I remember, so this was Steve Hart, and we'll wrap on this. I know I'm talking too much, but Steve Hardison, this is a guy in Arizona, and he told me about a situation where someone like threw a rock on his car. It's like a $250,000 car, and like broke the windshield. And then he's like, yeah, I just went up to him, like gave him a hug, and da-da-da. And I was like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Because he was like, I was like, what do you mean? I was like, if someone punches me in the face, because he was basically saying, Tanner, like, you don't have to act. I was like, bro, if someone punches me in the face, I'm gonna punch his ass back. And he's like, the reason you're doing that is you're reacting. And he's like, that's what most people do. He says, if you really want to get to the next level, he's like, you have to decide before how you're gonna respond. That's and so long story short, he was talking, basically, it's not manifestation, but he basically calls it his document, and he reads it every day, and it's like who he wants to be. And so he says when he's in tough situations, those thoughts come to his head, and that's how he was able to act that way. He's like, yeah, Tanner, you don't think I wanted to be his A and all this stuff? He's like, no. He's like, but I had to decide before this is who I was going to be. So he says, like, when he's in those tough situations, those thoughts come to his head, and he acts differently. And I was like, wow, that's like really powerful, actually, because most humans are just reacting all the fucking time.
Love it.
Honestly. So,
yeah.
Anyways.
Powerful, brother.
Yeah.
Beautiful conversation. Let's wrap up with a quick fire round. You ready?
Sure, yeah, hit me.
Favorite movie?
Ooh, there's so many.
First one comes to mind. Go.
Jeez. I would say like the Dark Knight or Inception, like one of those.
Favorite? I haven't seen either of them.
Yeah.
Favorite chocolate bar?
Probably I'm just thinking of Snickers. I'll take any of them though.
Favorite cheat meal?
Oh yeah, probably pizza and then like cookies or brownies with ice cream. Yeah, bro, I can't beat it.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Probably that, to be honest. Like just having a massive cheat meal. Yeah, like I mean, when like you'll laugh sometimes because I will definitely have a massive cheat meal.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Lose the gym for a year or lose your phone for a year?
I'll lose the phone, bro.
Yeah, 100. I would have lost a lot of respect for you if you changed it. And finally, brother, we'll wrap up on one last question. I really want you to think about it. If you could tell little Tanner absolutely anything now, what would you tell him?
Yeah, probably what you said a little earlier. Like, yeah, don't be so hard on yourself. You'll figure it out. Because I definitely have a tendency to do that. And so kind of looking back, like if I was talking to myself knowing that I was going to make the mistakes that I made, just like try to forgive yourself. Because I think that's probably the thing I struggle with the most. It's like when I make mistakes and or I hurt people, like trying to forgive myself. Yeah.
Fuck it, bro. We're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Thank you so
much.
All right,
yeah,
man.
Bro. Thanks for having me. Yeah, thanks for having me, bro.
All good? Sick. Yeah, bro. That was fucking great.
Yeah, that was really good, dude.
They're the best ones, bro. I didn't even ask the questions I was going to ask.
Yeah, that's
They're
good.
the best ones, bro. That was perfect, man.